Mr. Worley from the Citrus Pest and Disease Prevention Program.
Thank you.
Sir. Yeah.
Yeah, you get an award if you can pronounce Wong Long Bing 10 times in a row very, very fast. So thank you for allowing us to come here today. My name is Paul Worley. I'm with the Citrus Pest and Disease Prevention Program. Also with me today is Mr. Jeff Croy. He's the Orange County Agriculture Commissioner, and also Richard Tiffer, who's the Deputy Orange County Agriculture Commissioner as well. And we're here to talk about a deadly citrus disease and a pest called the Asian citrus psyllid. The Citrus Pest and Disease Prevention Program is a program that's funded by citrus growers. It's administered by the California Department of Food and Agriculture, and it's a public education campaign. It's a public education campaign directed to residents, people with backyard citrus trees, who might not know about the threat that's out there. So first off, the issue has received quite a bit of press recently here within LA. This is really where the focus is right now. LA Times, San Gabriel, there's been a lot of interest in that through the Orange County Register and also the Western Farm Press. Also, it has received a lot of national attention, primarily because the disease is also prevalent in Florida. So when we talk about this, there's really two issues. Okay, there's the pest and there's a disease. And a good analogy that we like to use around it, it's sort of like mosquitoes and West Nile. So mosquitoes by themselves aren't terrible, but they carry West Nile, so they can vector a disease. And it's similar here, but with this one, we're not talking about a human-borne disease. Here we're talking about a plant-borne disease. So the pest is called the Asian citrus psyllid. It's tiny. It's about the size of a tip of a ballpoint pen. If you see it on a plant, it'd be similar to an aphid. So to the naked eye, what you'll see on your screen, that looks like it could be quite large, but if you look at the picture with the thumb in the upper left-hand corner, they're tiny. So with the naked eye, they're kind of tough to see, so we'd recommend people can go out and look with a microscope to take a look for them. The only thing that it really does, like aphids, by themselves are not harmful to the plant, but they can carry this disease, okay? And if they're not around, there's not a way for this disease to spread. If they are around, that's how the disease is spread. So the disease, it's called Wong Long Bing, and it kills citrus trees. So there's no cure for this disease. Once a tree is infected with the disease, the tree will die. It's important to note that the disease itself is not harmful to humans. So if you were to have an orange from the tree, you wouldn't get sick and die. It's just that it makes the fruit bitter, misshapen, inedible. All right, so you can't eat the fruit. A real challenge that we have with the disease, because CDFA officials are going out throughout the community, is what's known as the latency period, which is how long it takes the disease to show up. So the tree could be infected, but it doesn't start showing symptoms sometimes between 2 to 5 years. So that's a real challenge that we have. So what's really the impact of this? We know from other states this is actually the most deadly citrus disease in the world. Florida, it's been devastating to the Florida citrus industry. Right now, to date, there's been $7.8 billion in lost economic activity and over 7,000 jobs within the state of Florida. Also, if you've noticed orange juice prices going up, it's because of this right here. Florida is the largest orange juice producing region in the world. And the real challenge that we have here, and the reason that we're here today, is to reach out to those homeowners, the residents. Surveys show right now that 6 in 10 residential properties in Southern California have a citrus tree. So it's quite a few. A lot of your residents have citrus trees in their backyard. So what should people be looking for? What are the symptoms? Like I said, it's tough to tell. It's tough to see. If you look at the picture up on the left with the 2 circles, that's asymmetrical model is what it is. So you'll notice on one side of the leaf, it's green. It's quite consistent green. On the other side, it's yellow. Okay. What this disease does is what's called a flow inhibitor. So it prevents the nutrients from coming up to the leaves. So you'll see this splotchy sort of discoloration on the leaves is oftentimes a good sign. The fruit, you will see it's discolored. It could be green on the bottom, yellow on the top, and it starts dropping early. Or another common sign is the picture on the right. It's something that's called corky veins. So the veins pop out. They're quite prominent. And if you touch them, you feel them. They really pop. I'm going to turn it over to Jeff right now to talk a little bit about Orange County.
Okay, the disease was first found in 2012 in Hacienda Heights, and there was a huge effort to battle this disease. Unfortunately, it did spread. Again, that latency period of 2 years means even though you capture it and you remove all the diseased trees in the immediate area, it may have moved beyond the area. So they found it in 2015 and throughout 2016 in San Gabriel. We have, as of this week, 55 trees that have been removed from the San Gabriel area with Wanlongbing. In December 15th of 2016, this was also discovered in the neighboring city of Cerritos, which is in LA County, but the quarantine now expands into Orange County, which includes this city. And unfortunately, on April 11th, 2017, it was found in La Habra here in Orange County. Not only do we have the disease of Wanlongbing in La Habra, in the city of Anaheim, they found 2 of the Asian citrus psyllids that have the disease or are capable of spreading it. So we may find the disease in Anaheim in the near future as well. What's on the screen is the boundaries, and if you like, I'm sure we can send that to you. But that shows the initial boundary for the Cerritos find. The La Habra find expands now the boundary so that the one at the very top right that you can just see coming down, that includes La Habra Heights and the top of La Habra, that now expands and it's all in a quarantine. The city of La Habra, a good portion of Fullerton into Brea. When they make a find, the first thing they do is they do an 800-meter survey. They go out and they survey every single citrus tree within 800 meters. What they're looking for, and they're pulling samples, is trying to find if the Wanlongbing has spread. If it has spread and those trees are identified, they are removed immediately. In addition, all the other trees within that 800-meter radius will be treated with pesticide to kill the Asian citrus psyllid. In the quarantine areas, in that first 800 meters, the treatment is not optional. So if somebody refuses, the crews will come back with a warrant and a highway patrol officer and treat the tree anyways. So we want you to be aware of that should this happen in this city. They typically collect 20 leaves from the tree from different parts of the tree. In its early stages, you can have the disease in one part of the tree, but not the other. So literally, you can test the tree, you can come back 6 months later, it's fine, another 6 months later, and now test positive. It's that latency. So even though they test fine initially, they keep coming back in that 800-meter radius. Richard Tiffer will speak about the biological control.
Sure. Well, biological control is something that that's been going on for a couple of years now. University of California has gone out and looked for different types of insects that may have an effect on the Asian citrus psyllid, reducing the populations. And they have come up with a couple. There's one that's called Temerixia, which has been released throughout Southern California. And it is establishing itself. It is reducing some of the populations of this psyllid, this insect that spreads this disease. But up to this point, it doesn't spread very far from where it's released. So it's establishing, but it's not spreading very far, and it's not reducing the numbers enough so that we can still get these outbreaks of this disease. And is this you?
Yep.
Okay.
So that's just a quick sort of background on it. So why are we here? I mean, we're here as part of a public education campaign by the city, by the state. And the big thing that we want to talk about is what you can do to protect your community citrus, because we know it's important to homeowners here and to your constituents. So the big three that we would ask the city to do, number one is to educate people on cooperating with detection and eradication efforts. Currently, right now, you'll see increased number of CDFA officials out on the street, going and taking samples, putting up traps, knocking on doors and talking to people. We're asking people to treat for the Asian citrus psyllid or remove their trees if they're not properly maintained. I know that's one of the other ones that we ask. And then we know there's a citrus fair coming up. We've been working with some folks coming up in La Habra as well. So if there's other types of community events coming up, to pass out literature. What we do as well is we produce, the firm that I work for, we have a contract with the California Department of Food and Ag. We produce handouts, brochures, trifolds in multiple languages, in English, Korean, multiple language, that we can send up to the city, that can be sent out here. You can link to our website. We also have professionally produced PSAs talking about both the pests and the disease, what residents should do, what they can expect if they have psyllids, if they have treatments within the area, or if they have an HLB find. So last, what we want to talk to people about is there is a 1-800 number that folks can call if they have questions. They will actually talk to a live human being. They'll call up the California Department of Food and Ag. They'll leave a message, but a live person will call them back. And what they really want to know, if this is like if people think they have the Asian citrus psyllid, if they think their tree is infected. So a person will call them back, a trained person will call them back, talk it through. If there's a concern, if they think that they have the disease in their tree, CDFA will send somebody out to take a look at that tree. People can also visit our website at californiacitrusthreat.org. It has all of this information and the public education material up there as well. So if you run out of material, I typically send a care package up to cities that you can share out. If you guys run out of material, there's like an order form there. So not only do we give presentations, but we take orders as well. So that does it for our presentation right now. If you have any questions, we're happy to answer any questions you might have.
Any questions?
I just have one. Is this just orange trees and lemon trees?
Yeah, it's a great question. So it's what you would traditionally think of as citrus, so lemons, limes, oranges. It doesn't include any pit fruits, so avocados it doesn't cover, or anything like that. So just your traditional. The only one that was sort of odd to me before I started this was curry. So like curry leaves from curry trees. That's also part of the citrus family as well. But grapefruits, lemon, limes, oranges, that's primarily what this is about.
Yeah, there's also a few ornamentals that are citrus that that normally you wouldn't eat, but they're used as ornamentals. They're also hosts of the disease.
Councilwoman Berry?
Thank you. Thank you very much for coming and sharing this information. And I'm assuming we can have this put up on our website too of how to contact. Do we? Okay. Just want to make sure. We've had our best citrus year ever at my own orange tree. We were excited. And then we were tagged that a sample had been taken. So then we were thinking, oh no. Now we haven't heard back. So we were thinking we were in the clear. But am I hearing that you're going to come back and sample again? And we must be within that 800-meter perimeter?
Yes. If you're within the 800-meter perimeter, you'll probably be sampled multiple times over the next 2 years. Typically, by the end of 2 years, they know that your tree may be clear, but they continue to sample in the area until the quarantine is lifted. Now, the next question is, when would the quarantine be lifted? The initial quarantine in Hacienda Heights was established in 2012. It's still in effect.
Wow. Okay. And I know you said there's no cure. What is the best prevention?
The best prevention is to treat the tree for pest. That way the Asian citrus psyllid can't establish itself on the tree.
Is there any natural type of pesticide, lack of a better term?
Richard, do you have any recommendations?
Well, there's things like insecticidal soap that you can get. You can even make your own soapy solution with a mild dishwashing liquid. That if you just that's not it doesn't have a residual, but it does have a contact kill, and that is organic if that's what you're looking for.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Mayor Pro Tem Pete?
I was just wondering if I wanted to, can I self-treat, go get whatever the best thing from the Home Depot is and spray the tree and then?
Absolutely. So that's the recommendation that we typically make is for homeowners who think they have psyllids on their tree, they can go to their local home and garden center, be it Lowe's, Home Depot, any place like that, the local shops like that, and ask somebody there, and they would tell you exactly what you need to treat.
Thank you.
Okay.
Anyone else? Okay. Mr. Worley, colleagues, thank you very, very kindly. Appreciate that.
Thank you.